Right. And today we'll start a discussion about data types. So what is data types? We'll start a discussion. So here, what is the data types? We'll start a discussion today. So we have discussed 8 types of data types. So 8 types of data types we have. One is byte, short, int, long, and float, and double, and boolean, and char. Apart from this, other one is string we have. So this is 8 types of data types we have. First, coming to the byte, it can store the 8-bit data and it can store the 16-bit data. Int can store the 32-bit data, long can store the 64-bit data. And float, it can store the decimal points 32-bit. Double, decimal point 64-bit. Boolean, either true or false we can store it. Char, any single character you can store, special character, otherwise we can go for the alphabet, otherwise we can use the here numeric also, whatever it may be, but single character. So this is we are calling as a data types we are calling. Already we are discussed in last class data types. Actually, why we are using the data type? If you want to store any value in the variable, what type of value you are storing? That is the integer type of, float type of, boolean type of, char type of. That is it will be defining. For example, if you go for here, if you go for the here, byte, it can store the 8-bit data. So b equal to and 127, it can store it. Now if you want to print system.out.println, now we can go for the b, we can give it, that will be printed. And if you go for the short, so it can store 16-bit data. So 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Same manner all the integer long also. And this is we have discussed already, integer, long, string, these all. And coming to the string can store the bunch of characters. This is I can go for the Selenium Sreekanth. This is we can store it here. So this is we can store the bunch of characters also. So this is we are calling as a data types we are calling. This is we have the data types. And here already we are declaring, yes, already we are declaring here, yeah, already we are declaring here, this is we are calling as a data types. In last class we have discussed, this is into, long, this is we have discussed. So byte, and then we can go for this one, and short, and this one we can print it, integer we can print it, long we can print it. But if you coming to the float f, I can give the fl float. Now fl equal to decimal points 12.345, like that it will be go for the decimal points. And this is our last, you can give the f, this is a syntax, we need to give the f here. System dot out dot println fl. Now see, it will be printing points also. This is only specialty of the float, decimal points it will be storing. And coming to the another one is double, we can go for the double. This is we are calling as a double db, and here db equal to 12.4567, it will be storing. Now system dot out dot println, now I can use the db, so it will be printing the db. Now see, save it, run it. Now it's giving the, this is a all integer values. This is a byte value can store, and this is a short value, integer value, long value. This is we are calling as a float, and this we are calling as a double. So float, double can store the decimal points, but float is the 32-bit, and we can go for the double is a 64-bit. It can store it, right? And then I can go for the boolean. What is a boolean? And this is a, we can go for the boolean. It can store the either true or false. The true or false. See, I can go for the either true or false only. This is a true. Now system.out.println BL. It's a printing the true. See, save it, run it. So this is we are calling as a boolean. We can store it. For example, char. It can store any single character. That may be number, that may be alphabet, that may be special character. Whatever it may be, it can store the single character. Now I want to print it. This is a C. Save it, run it. Now see here, it's a giving the special character also. Coming to the here, another one is finally string. Actually, string is not a data type. It is a class and it is a keyword. So we can go for the string str. So yes, you must be go for the capital letter because of it is not data type. It is a class. So you must be start with capital letter for the string. Then only is it giving. Otherwise it will throw the error. Now see, string equal to, I can write Selenium Sreekanth. This is we can write it here. So this is a way we can go for the here, and I want to print system.out.println str. This is a variable value I can print out. So this is we are calling as our data types we are calling. So how many data types we have? 8 types of data types. One is byte, it can store only 8-bit data. Short, it can store only 16-bit data. Int, it can store only 32-bit data. Long, it can store the 64 data, but these four are integer values. These four can't store the decimal points like that, 12.34, like that you can't store these four. So if you want to store the decimal points, you can use either float, either double. But float is the 32-bit, double is the 64-bit. So this is we are calling as a float to double. Next, boolean. You want to store either true or false, then we can go for the boolean data type. And you can store any single character. That may be number, that may be special character, that may be integer, whatever it may be, single character. If you want to store it, char, you need to use it. Apart from this, another one is string. It is not purely data type. It is a class. It is a keyword. So we can start with this first letter must be capital letter. See, these are all the data types we are giving small letters only. It's a working, but this string is not like that. It is not data type. It is a class. So start with the capital letter. So string variable can store the bunch of characters. This is all we are calling as a bunch of characters. If you want to store the bunch of characters, now we can choose a string data type only. For example, what is my intention here means I want to declare one variable. So what is my variable name means I want to store the uh, true or false. True or false I want to store. So what is the data type I can use it? Boolean. This is a boolean, we can use it. And this variable I want to go for the public. Public is nothing but anywhere we can use it in the project. Now this variable I can give it, this is we are calling as a BL. Now you can store it BL equal to true. This is a, you can store it like that. In same manner, I want to store the number of hands. So this is variable name. Number of hands is nothing but what we can store number. So I can declare the integer and this I can declare as a public. So like that, in this variable, what type of value we can store, that will be deciding the data type. For example, name. And what type of data type? This is a string, a bunch of characters. Now this is we are calling as a public, you can declare also. So in this variable, what type of data we can store it, this is defining the data type. So this is the main purpose of the data type. Coming to the, after completing the data type, we'll go for the another.
Hi, we are providing the Tosca automation online training also. And if you want to attend demo sessions, we are providing the below two links and you can attend and you can understand what is the Tosca. And if you want to contact, this is a number you can contact with me. Thank you very much.